everyone, welcome back to the Vibes Show. It's your host Favour Daramola, and today we've brought another interesting topic to your screen: digital overload. Be honest with yourself. Have you ever felt like your device or your devices are using you instead of you using them? Yes. So we're going to be answering these questions today. Are you controlling your device, or is your device controlling you? Are you using your device, or is your device using you? Because to be honest, whether we know it or not, whether we realize it or not, some people's devices are using them unknowingly, right? So we're going to be diving deep into this topic, and we're going to be examining what exactly is digital overload, what causes it, and how do we overcome it. Don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back. This is the Vibes Show. Welcome back. So, talking about digital overload, what exactly is digital overload? In simple terms, digital overload is when you are doing so much on your devices, and it will get to the point where the negative impacts outweighs the positive impacts, right? When it gets to that point where it feels like, am I using this phone, or is this phone using me? Why am I scrolling mindlessly when I'm supposed to be doing something more important, when I actually have unfinished tasks? If you ever get to that point, or if you ever feel like that is you, if you can relate with what I'm saying, then you are probably experiencing digital overload, when it almost feels like you can't control it, and you just find yourself scrolling and scrolling, or checking up on notifications, and you just want to keep yourself updated with what is going on the internet, on social media, and on your phone generally, and it feels like you can't stay off it. That is digital overload. Okay. So we're going to be looking at what exactly causes digital overload. Number one, excessive screen time. Like we mentioned earlier, when you are constantly on the screen, not necessarily on social media, it could be watching a movie or playing a game, or just catching up with trends, or looking at people's profiles to see what's up, what have they posted today, what's going on in this person's life, or checking emails. You just discover that you are always on your phone, or you are always on the screen. So excessive screen time is one of the things that causes digital overload, when you are on the screen more than you actually need to. Number two is digital multitasking. This is common with people that their work is tied to their phone, or their business is tied to their phone. And surprisingly, even people that their work is not tied to their phone, they still experience digital overload, because they are trying to multitask. They are, for no reason, right? For no productive reason, they find themselves on WhatsApp, scrolling through people's status or the updates, on Instagram, scrolling through people's pictures, on YouTube, scrolling through YouTube shorts, on TikTok, scrolling, and scrolling for no just reason. You're trying to keep yourself updated and multitasking, with doing those things that are not value adding. So while we have that, we also have people that are actually doing it for work. For example, content creators, or someone that has a small business and they know that they have to market their businesses on social media, or someone that their work just has to do, maybe a customer service representative that has to be on the phone, for example, and they have to respond to messages and things like that, and they have to juggle between different apps. So digital multitasking is one of the things that causes digital overload. Another thing that causes digital overload is information overload. So when you've gotten tips, strategies, insights, knowledge, wisdom from so many sources, and the information is just too much, right? You don't even have time or space to process all of this information that you've gotten, and then it keeps you stuck in that cycle. Because okay, now you've gotten this information, you want to know more, you've not had the time to process and implement the one that you've learned, but you keep getting more and more and more and more and more information. So it's important to learn, it's important to get information, but information without application has no use, right? Which is why implementation is more important than how much you learn. Because if, for example, you want to start a new business, you have this great idea, you've been watching people that have gone ahead of you and have done this business before, but for some reason you find yourself in that circle over and again. You find yourself keep watching them, and seeing yourself in their shoes someday, imagining that you're doing what they are doing, but you just continue in that circle. You're not able to just pick yourself up and start doing yours. That is information overload. Now we've looked at the causes of digital overload. Now we're going to be talking about the effects of digital overload. Number one, it affects your level of productivity. So when you have unfinished tasks, but you find yourself glued to your screen, scrolling mindlessly, looking out for notifications, catching up on trends, and doing things that do not actually add value, but because you feel the need to, or because you are so used to it, and even when you have important unfinished tasks, and instead of you to get up to do it, you find yourself stuck there scrolling mindlessly and unproductively. So it decreases your level of productivity. Once you get used to it, it affects your ability to make effective and sound decisions. So like we talked about earlier, consuming so much information. So when you have information overload, it could affect your ability to make sound decisions, because now the information you've gathered over time, there might be too much for you to process and decipher which one is correct, which one is best for you. So when you consume too much information, it affects your ability to make sound and effective decisions. Number three, it affects your ability to socialize. So you find yourself socializing on social media and that drastically reduces your physical interaction with people, which is what we actually need. This takes me back to the days where we did not have social media growing up. We had friends, we played with sand, we played with each other. We had a bond with people. But now people are glued to their phones and saying hi, using emojis to respond to messages and all of that. So it's reducing our level of social interactions and physical interactions with people, which is actually what we really need. Now we're going to go on a short break. We've talked about the causes and the effects of digital overload. Don't go anywhere, and we will be right back. Welcome back. It's still the Vibes Show. Before we went on the break, we talked about causes of digital overload and its effects. Now we're going to look at the solutions, right? How can we overcome digital overload? Number one, set screen time limits, both on your phone generally and on all your social media accounts. You can set a time limit, right? So you can tell Instagram, I want to be on Instagram for only 10 minutes per day or only 15 minutes daily. And once 5 minutes to that time, they'll send you a notification. It's something I do personally. They'll let you know you have 5 minutes left for today. And once it's that time, they log you off. But then it's up to you, because if you still want to continue, you can still log back on. It's still your choice, right, to make. So, but setting that limit and being disciplined to maintain it is up to you. So set screen time limits. Also, Also, create tech-free zones. For example, you could say, whenever I want to use the washroom, I'm not going to go with my phone. Instead, I'll go with a book, or I will use that as my thinking time, my time to think and reflect on what has happened so far during the day, or on the things I've been able to achieve. Or I'm going to spend that time reading. You'll be amazed about how many. You'll be amazed on how many books you would actually be able to read weekly, monthly, and even yearly with that strategy. Reading when you're in the washroom, that's your personal time, right? Instead of spending that time scrolling mindlessly on your phone. Turn off your notifications. If you don't want to get notifications on your WhatsApp, on your Facebook, it's your choice. You can turn it off on all your apps and all your social media platforms, so that you're not eager to see, oh, what is Facebook notifying me about? You don't ever get that notification. So just turn it off. The next point, prioritize tasks. So have a scheduled time where you go through your emails, where you go through your social media messages. For example, if you do business on your social media platforms, you have a specific time or a scheduled time where you go through those messages, so that you don't find yourself in that circle of constantly scrolling and checking messages, checking to see if you have a new message, and at the end of the day, you're not able to pinpoint what significant thing or what productive thing you've done for the day. So schedule your screen times, schedule specific times, and prioritize your tasks. Do the most important things first. Responding to messages can always come later. Responding to messages can always come later if it's not a priority, depending on the type of work you do. And finally, spend time on offline activities or off-screen activities, activities that you don't have to be on your screen to engage in. It could be playing with friends, playing games, card games, or soccer, or just activities generally that does not involve the screen, that you can do without having to be on your screen. At that point, you can even forget that you have a phone or you have a device. So be intentional about such activities and do those during the day. And over time, you begin to see that you actually can live without your phone. All right, so today we've had an interesting discussion on digital overload, its causes, its effects, and the solutions. If there's one thing I would challenge you to do today, is something that I've done myself and it works every time, especially when I have important things to do, like really maybe I have an exam or I have a certification to do. I do this and it works every time. It helps me to stay focused, and it has really helped me to realize that my life does not depend on my devices. I have a life outside my devices and they don't control me. So I put in the control. So this is it. Go on a device challenge. Phone. I think phone is the major device that most people use, right? Maybe if you use your tablets, phones and tablets are the major devices. So go on a phone challenge where for a full day you do not have access to your phone. You just turn it off. If you think you cannot do it, have an accountability partner, maybe your spouse or a close friend or a close family member, that you say, oh, I'm having this challenge and I feel like I've been using my phone too much. I've been using my phone more than I actually have to, and I've gotten to the point where I think the phone is controlling me instead of me controlling it, or it's using me instead of me using it, and I want to change that narrative. So can you be my accountability partner? I want to go on this challenge where for the whole of today or for the whole of tomorrow, I wouldn't use my phone at all. Also, let important people in your life know, your close family, your close friends and family members that you know that would probably reach out to you during the day. on the particular day that you'll be doing the challenge, so that when they reach out, they are not worried about why they can't reach you through the phone. So you keep your phone aside throughout that day, and before that day you already have a plan on things that you can do, other productive activities that you will do outside your phone. Of course, you also, maybe if you're working a job, you can take that day off work, so that you know that you're not doing anything that would tempt you to pick up your phone, right? So you can take that day off if you want to be that intentional, right? Or even if you're working or your work is not on your phone, you just have to log into your work system and all. So you can do that, but just a strategy that would ensure that you stay away from your phone. At the end of this challenge, let me tell you what will happen. You realize that you actually have a life outside your phone. You'll be amazed at how much more you can accomplish in a day because you were not distracted by your phone. And then it gives you your power back. It helps you to be more disciplined, because by the time you see how much more you were able to accomplish on that day, it would keep you eager and encouraged to do more of that, so that you can achieve more, so that you can be more productive on other days. So I hope that you take on this challenge, and I hope that you've learned one or two important things that would help you avoid or deal with digital overload. If you can relate with the things that we've talked about today and you've been challenged, drop a comment in the comment section and let's know. Like, we can all relate. Honestly, if we want to be honest with ourselves, we can all relate at one point or the other, right? We found ourselves scrolling mindlessly. So, but the most important thing is not to feel guilty or to feel bad based on what has happened in the past. The most important thing is the intentionality and the actions we are taking to get better and to really get our time back, okay, and get our freedom back. So give us a like, subscribe, and share with a friend that you think this would really help. Keep winning, and until next time, we'll see you on The Vibes Show.
The Vibes with Favour Daramola will continue in the next episode.